Training camp. Week 1 in the books, the LA Chargers and the Minnesota Vikings. Let's get to it, because today the LA Chargers got bigger and stronger.
And the Minnesota Vikings training camp is looking very competitive.
And if you're with us, thank you so much. Welcome to another episode of the BuiBros Football Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Quinn Bowie, and I, of course, cheer for the LA Chargers. And across from me, my brother Brandon.
And I cheer for the Minnesota Vikings. Woo woo.
Yes. Today's episode, like we mentioned, training camp. What's been going on with the Minnesota Vikings? What's been going on with the LA Chargers? And getting right into it, like I mentioned, LA Chargers got bigger and stronger today.
Explain. What does that mean?
Yes, that means that starting safety opposite of Derwin James, Alohi Gilman, well, he had a baby girl today.
Oh, yeah.
So a little daughter born today. So that's why Coach Harbaugh mentioned in his presser today after first padded practice that's why Alohi Gilman was not present. And, you know, great excuse, of course. All the best. That's very exciting, little girl. But in actual LA Chargers news, we had a little bit of bad news on Friday. Scary news for Chargers fans, and that is left tackle Rashawn Slater. He left practice a little early. He later joined the team again on field, didn't continue to participate, but it's a scary thought when another year starting left tackle and prized left tackle gets injured. And it was an apparent calf injury, and so he missed Saturday's practice, and we didn't really know what was going to happen. But good news today, padded practice. Rashawn Slater was out there.
Nice.
Didn't participate fully, but he was there one-on-ones, the second round of 11-on-11s. So he's getting some time in, and Coach Harbaugh said, you know, it was out of an abundance of caution, which I think is the smart thing to do, training camp, ramping up.
Yeah, I saw Joe Alt filled in and left tackle there for a bit.
Yeah.
Because he's never played right tackle or something, I think I read. So he's taking time to adjust, and people were kind of questioning, why is he filling in? Like, yeah, Slater's a little injured here, but why is Joe Alt practicing in the left tackle position? You know, I don't know if that was just to kind of simulate some drills or whatever, but I saw that, and I thought that was kind of interesting, especially if he is going to be a right tackle, Joe Alt, right? Like, if that is his NFL position here, or what?
Yes, so the presumed right tackle,
Okay.
but you know, with the injury and this extra caution that Coach Harbaugh is putting out there, I guess you have to maybe start thinking of these backup plans and what that offensive line would look like. So I think that played a part in the construction of how it went today. Trey Pipkins, who started right tackle most of the games last year, comes back to right tackle. Joe Alt moves over to the left. But hopefully the injury is behind him. It doesn't seem too serious, which is great. Rashawn Slater coming off a season that was filled with injury, and all the best going forward. Fingers crossed, everybody. And then we'll move on to the wide receiver position. Big question marks in the offseason about the LA Chargers wide receiver room. Of course, with the departure of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, well, now we have Joshua Palmer leading the way. Last year's first-round pick, Quentin Johnston, rookie season that is forgetful. But, of course, second round should have been a first-round pick. Ladd McConkey, and then free agent signing DJ Chark. So, a lot of questions. But those names, you know, there's potential there. Right off the bat, Joshua Palmer, the presumed wide receiver 1, haven't really heard or seen too much about him in training camp. It might just be because he understands the connection with Herbert and whatnot, and he's put the effort in to learn the new playbook, and there's nothing to write home about. Same old. But then when you look at DJ Chark also having nice steady camp, he's slowly building the rapport with Justin Herbert. Ladd McConkey is also building that rapport. And our backup quarterback last year, Chase Daniels, continues to hype up the Ladd McConkey train. He's like, I told you guys, and I'm sticking with it. He's having 100 catches this year. There's one play where Herbert's rolling out to his left and cross body throw into like a cluster of players there, and somehow Lad McConkey is the one who ends up grabbing it, staying in bounds, catching the touchdown. It was an awesome play. It was great to see.
I saw it.
You saw it.
I saw it. And you know what?
I was like, why are you throwing it like that?
What the hell was it?
So many emotions. But
In a
maybe
game?
because he knows how to do that and get it. The
I know.
defense jumped.
I
Missed.
know. It was this close, and I guess this close doesn't matter in a game. If that's a touchdown, it's a touchdown.
In a game of inches,
dude, I saw it and I was like, "Is this a celebrated play?" It looks like it was this close to being intercepted, but it wasn't. So I guess it's good. There's a lot of plays out there that are this close. Maybe that was the window, but I don't know, man. It was a nice catch.
Exactly what you said.
But, ooh.
You know, a lot of plays are this close, and it's true. So it's because of Herbert's precision, Brandon.
Oh.
Yes.
His vision.
Yes.
As well.
In how everybody on the field is moving and how he knows that he can fit the ball into the window. But yes, Lad McConkey building that rapport. It's awesome. But the guy I really want to talk about is Quentin Johnston. You know, everybody's got the question mark on Quentin Johnston. Again, after last rookie season, which is one to forget, he realizes that. He knows now what to look on and how to build himself going forward. And his training camp has, you know, been kind of a roller coaster ride. We start training camp, or just before training camp, we have Daniel Popper from The Athletic talking about WR4 for Quentin Johnston because Josh Palmer, presumed wide receiver 1, you just drafted high in Lad McConkey, and then you signed DJ Chark, paying him a good amount of money. Well, that means QJ's in 4. Mm-hmm. Well, he's had some good ups. You know, he's caught a lot of balls in traffic, which is a big step up in his game because, you know, that's where the drops come in. But then you see today's practice and first day of pads, and beautiful, just rainbow going in, touchdown for Quentin Johnston, and he just fumbles it over the shoulder, drops the ball, and the headlines like could be his worst drop yet. Not looking good. So more of a roller coaster ride. I don't really know what to make out of it. All I know is that trust in Harbaugh. And he's going to bring the best out of him. And I will say his work ethic is showing right now because he stayed after practice and he was just repping the jugs machine, just over the shoulder catch, just going time and time again by himself. So he wants it, and he's going to keep working. And I really hope that he comes through.
Yeah, you know, all the best to the guy. You don't want anybody to... He's probably got some serious confidence. Well, maybe not... It would be understandable if he had confidence issues. And that's why he's just in his head with the catch because he seems to be in a position to make the play. And then it just, like, it doesn't click, you know? He had some pretty bad drops last year. I didn't see the video that you're talking about in practice today. But, like, I've seen it before.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it before with QJ. So I hope that he reins it in. I hope that this is the, you know, obviously...
Chargers comeback player of the year.
Well, I was going to say Jamar Chase, you know, in the preseason was dropping balls left and right. So it might not mean anything in the preseason, right? This is where you get your jitters out maybe.
When Johnston's preseason was a full season.
Exactly.
He took a little bit longer.
A full season and this preseason. And then... Jamar
Chase.
That's good, you know.
Then Jamar Chase. You said it first. I love it. I love the take, Brandon. That's a bold take.
Well, I'm not saying he is Jamar. I'm just saying.
No. It's on tape, Brandon. I understand it. Why are you walking it back? Don't hurt me any more than I need. Anyway, let's go. Defense. We all know defense. They start off stronger than the offense does, especially when you have a new system in place. And that is the case going today, especially with the pads coming on. Mac and Bosa highlights today, topped off with Mac stuffing J.K. Dobbins. Also had an injury late last week. Thank goodness he's back in practice. But stuffed J.K. Dobbins for a 1-yard gain. That's like a come to reality moment because J.K. Dobbins, I watched his presser a few days ago. Happy guy, man. This guy is just full of energy. And then he's saying, if he gets the opportunity, he's going to be one of the best running backs in the league. I love the confidence. I love it. And we've seen flashes, close to 6 yards per carry when he's out there, which is, he's got that burst of speed. But then he gets injured. Same old story, but he comes out and he's up against Khalil Mack, also one of the best. Proven one of the best. Gets stuffed. And then a few plays later, Joey Bosa comes in on Herbert, which would have been a sack. Smart play that he doesn't touch the quarterback, unlike those guys in Chicago over there.
Oh, I was
right?
going to say Houston. For
oh,
sure.
Whoa.
Yeah, CJ Stroud got injured too. Anyways.
Oh, wow. So the defense ended up winning, and I like the way that they play. It's the offense gets the ball on the 25-yard line. You get your chance to score. You're more than likely going to get a field goal, and they more often than not gave automatic 3 points. So if you get a field goal, offense gets 3 points, defense gets 4. And so that's how they kind of keep the score for each possession. They ended up going 3 times, and defense won out. It was field goals all around for the offense. But love to see that defense coming together. Bud Dupree's fitting in nice on that defensive line. The DBs are actually doing a hell of a job making plays, really jumping up there and breaking up the pass. But to finish this all off, after 1 week of training camp, I need to talk to everybody about something a little bit more than the LA Chargers. I need to talk about fantasy sleepers. Okay, we're going to take a sidebar from the reality of football, and we're going to go to fantasy land here and I'm going to give this away. I'm giving it away to you. We're in many leagues together. I'm going to give it away to the other people that we share a league with. Cameron Dicker. I've said it before, but the LA Chargers have a kicker in Cameron Dicker. Listen, historic start to his career. He's made 94.5% of his field goals. And he's made all 59 extra point attempts. And that success continued on Saturday, where he made 11 out of 11 kicks, including multiple field goals from over 50 yards. Yes, there was a little bit of variation when it came to real gameplay where there's pressure coming in or just field goal exercises. But it was all around an amazing performance. And I like the way that Jim Harbaugh's going to run this offense. We know he wants to run the clock out with a good defense. They're going to rely on the kicker. I've said it before and again. You guys don't want to listen to me? Fine. I'm going to take Cameron Dicker in the 15th round, and I'm going to love it. He's going to be top 5 kicker easily this year. All right? Coin it. Said it. Today.
That just sounds like the Chargers are going to settle for field goals all the time. That's what you're saying. No touchdowns. No touchdowns, just field goals.
Well, let's go over to big brother John Harbaugh over there with number 1 kicker in Justin Tucker. Do they just settle for field goals?
They do at 60 yards. Saying? Yeah, they do when they get to midfield. Yeah, because that's Justin Tucker.
It sounds like no one's settling at that point.
That's Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker. Exactly.
Anytime you get close to the other side of the field, it's like, hey, oh, well, we don't have to punt. That's what happens.
And that could be the same here. Maybe not 60 yards, okay, but we've got a kicker that hits it consistently out of 50 plus. And I'm happy for it. I'm excited. Y'all listened for me. 15th round, pick up a kicker. Nobody's doing it. Everyone wants Justin Tucker. Everyone wants Jake Elliott on the Eagles. No. Cameron Dicker.
Kicker. 15.
League winner. All right? League winner.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's go. Let's see next week or the next week coming up. Continuation of training camp. Can't wait to see how the team is starting to build and the position battles and the depth chart, how that all unfolds. LA Chargers 2024. Vegas Raiders can't come soon enough. Ah, man, I'm excited.
So excited.
Brandon, what's going on with the Vikings?
I don't know. You just got me excited for the season. I wonder how many days are left. It's probably like
Yeah,
30
well,
some days
yeah,
now.
I can tell you right now.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 37 days. That's total guess. I'm going with 37 days, and then I'll look at Viking stuff.
It's Thursday, September 5th, right?
Does it start on a Thursday? Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's always the Thursday.
Yeah, so it's
So
probably the
that's
fifth.
38
Oh,
days
dang.
away.
So close.
38 days.
Well, can't come soon enough. All right. Okay. In no particular order, this is the last week of Minnesota Vikings football. Um, Mekhi Blackman tore his ACL. Super, super unfortunate.
Lame.
Um, which just leaves our DB room in just. It was already thin, and now we've got a guy who's potentially starting. Who knows? Very competitive, as I mentioned earlier. He's gone. He's obviously out for the season, likely. Nobody's coming. He's out for the season. We're just gonna say that. So that's very sad. Rookie last year did okay.
Right?
Did okay. Our DBs last year weren't great, but he can develop. And obviously, I can't say, oh, he was developing into a great, because we didn't get to see it, which is unfortunate. So he'll be back next year. The team seems to like him, so he'll be back next year, and hopefully he'll be better than he
Well,
was the year before and this year.
yeah, that's tough for the secondary,
It
man.
sucks, man.
Yeah, like that's back-to-back weeks or very soon after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Two
Right.
unfortunate events
Yeah.
happened. My goodness. Yeah, that's going to be tough, but it's next man up,
Next man up.
right?
Yep.
And somebody else is going to get an opportunity.
Yep. And a more secondary is Lewis Seen, first round pick from 3 years ago.
Yes.
Or two. However, it's hard at the beginning of the season. But this would be his third year. In his
Right.
first year, he broke his leg. Apparently, horrifically. They never showed it on the broadcast because it was on a kickoff. So there was no camera on him when it happened. During a London game, and he had to stay in London for like 2 months or something like that.
You got to stay in London for
Yeah,
2
I had to
months?
stay in London to have his treatment, and like we had
Whoa.
staff members stay with him and stuff like that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and people were kind of hyped on him. This was when we traded back in the draft, um, and we gave Detroit
Yes.
your guy,
Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams that you wanted. Um,
Yes.
And if we had picked where we were, we could have picked Kyle Hamilton, which is what people always mention when Lewis Seen is brought up. And the reason I'm bringing him up is because he has not participated in the last two practices. Ooh. He's been
Why
there.
has he? Okay.
No, he's just sitting on the field. He's like no pads, I don't think, and he's just watching. Not sure why. No designated injury. No, nothing like that. He came out.
Well,
He came out
it better
talking.
not be.
What?
Sorry, it better not be a contract situation.
No. It's
That would be the
no.
worst holdout ever.
It's more like I don't know why he wouldn't be out there, but it definitely seems like he's the bottom of the barrel, and he's definitely a cut potential, which sucks.
Yes.
Waste the first round pick, 2 years ago, or three, and
Yes. That was Quasey's first rodeo too,
that was
wasn't
his
it?
first pick, right? Because that was pick 31, I think.
Yes.
His first pick, and it did not work, obviously, and
Mhm.
it sucks, especially the Kyle Hamilton thing. But that's just it's all in the past. It's whatever. The
Yeah,
present right now
hindsight.
is that he's not doing well, and he came out. He had an interview. It was pretty good, and he was like, "Yeah, it was unfortunate I broke my leg, but that was over a year ago. Like I had a whole
Right.
season since then." That's not an excuse anymore. I need to be stepping it up. I need to this is a huge year for me to prove that I belong in the NFL. Um, so hopefully he gets it and kicks it in a high gear. But it seems like it's a little tough. Our safeties are pretty good. I actually like our safety room. So that's we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he might have to switch out over to corner, whether it's outside, inside. It looks like the secondary as a whole might need to shift here.
It's just
Brian Flores might need to be a little creative in the
Yeah.
in the back end.
Well, he's already had a lot of creative things. Josh Patel's played you know, they had him lined up in like 20 some positions last year. I don't remember. They had it on the screen. It was friggin' wild. He was playing a million different positions. Maybe not 20. 20 is high.
Yeah, right.
But it was a lot, you
Even
know.
offense.
It was. I'd have to see the list of where
Yeah.
he played in the defense last year, and it was crazy. He's just all over the place. Um, anyways, more DB news is that the Vikings signed Dolphins and Giant, former Dolphins and Giant free agent DB Bobby McCain. To be honest with you, I don't really know this guy, Bobby McCain. Not sure,
Ooh.
but he was with Flores in Miami. So in his interview today, because we also had our first padded practice and I watched the interview with Brian Flores. He talked highly about Bobby McCain. Was excited to be able to get him on the team because of his leadership, his work ethic, and what he can do on the field. And they might have him practicing in safety as well. So
So
that's
then
bad
my
news
question to
for
you is,
Lewisy.
how much do you believe in that? Is it true that Bobby McCain is the missing piece here, or is it because of the unfortunate news to that room? And hey, I gotta boost this guy up. You
Well,
know, obviously it's too early to really say right now.
here's what I believe is that I believe when you sign a player, the coach is never going to go, I don't think he's that good.
Right.
Right? He's never going to say that. But
Nope.
if you need to sign a player and you know that player and you know their shit, you wouldn't sign them. Right? If Brian Flores actually thinks he's no good, then he wouldn't have done the signing because he does know him. So he at
Right.
least thinks that he can add value to the team. And so
Mhm.
that's why they signed him. So I do believe
Hey.
that he sees value, but the value needs to be realized and put on the field. So we'll see.
100%. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
He has familiarity, and there's a choice.
Exactly.
You don't have to bring him in, and they did.
And so more competition in the DB room is always good. And then at the competition that I mentioned with the whole training camp is heating up possibly in the quarterback room.
Ooh, really?
It
Okay.
seems so. It seems like most people would agree that Sam Darnold is looking like the starter prior to camp.
Right.
That he's like definitely starting. You know,
That's everything I read.
exactly. And it's everything everybody was saying. And all I've seen are awesome throws. You know, 50-yard throws to JJ, to Addison, that have looked great. But those are the highlights.
Yeah.
He has apparently struggled quite a bit. You know, he has apparently struggled a little bit here at camp, and JJ McCarthy has not. He has not struggled. And it's kind of like a weird thing where, well, our DBs possibly aren't great, you know, especially on the twos, so JJ McCarthy could be feasting with that. But at the same time, Sam Darnold has Justin Jefferson to throw to. So
Yeah.
you should be feasting in that regard, right? Like, yeah, you're playing with the ones, so it's going to be better, but you're also playing with the ones, so it's easier for you. It's kind of a
So
weird
it's gonna
thing.
be better.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Ooh.
in 5 red zone plays, JJ McCarthy had 4 touchdowns in their scrimmage, which is great, obviously. And so apparently, it's not so. Yeah, he's definitely going to start. It's more so. I think I'm frozen. It's more so like, hey, they might, you know, he's still got the edge just because he's a veteran, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously not in the room, but pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, no,
Whether he
that's
starts or not.
exciting. You know, this is the process, right?
Yeah.
You know, build that confidence. Doesn't matter if you're with the twos or the ones. You know, to add on to your point, yes, you're also throwing to Justin Jefferson, but with what you mentioned earlier about the DB struggles, the secondary shortcomings, like Sam Darnold, it's almost like you have your cake and you can eat it too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right? You're throwing a Jets and he's going against ultimately the twos. And so yeah, that's tough. And I hope that changes. So, you know, still in the lead right now, and he needs to fend off JJ McCarthy as long as he can. And JJ McCarthy needs for that to happen as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Or would benefit greatly. I won't say need, because we have seen rookie quarterbacks thrown into the fire and succeed.
Yes.
And yeah, but no, that's exciting. Actually, potentially a QB battle in camp.
That's all you want. You want the competition,
Love
right?
it. Love it.
Um,
100%.
this also some sad news is that 2024 will be no doubt uh, Harrison Smith's last season,
Uh,
which we knew was coming, right? You know it's
right.
coming. It's just a little sad, you know. He has been with the team for 13 years, I think, and he's been awesome. You know, Vikings fans will tell you that he belongs in the Hall of Fame for his career. Um, that his stats rival Troy Polamalu. When you look at it, very similar stats.
That
Um,
would be an interesting comparison.
yeah, maybe I'll pull it up for next week. I'll have all that ready so I can
Right.
say that. But it's something, you know. Obviously, it's just stats. There's X factors. There's unseen statistics. You know, like so. It is what it is. But Harrison Smith he's a G. That guy's awesome. He's a Viking favorite because he's gonna start and end his career with this team, which is great. Um, and I just hope that he has a great send off and a season that he can be proud of as his last season. So, are you looking at the stats? So I'm not
I'm
pulling them
looking
up
at the
next week.
stacks. No, you're not pulling them up next week. We gotta give the fans what they want.
Exactly.
You brought it up, and that. Okay, okay. Head to head. We'll start off with that. So stats are brought to you by stathead.com. Looks like this is up to date. Yep, from 2012 to 2023. So Harrison Smith's stats are up here, and then Polamalu is 2003 to 2014. Okay, so head to head, they've only ever played each other once.
Oh, really?
Harrison Smith got the dub.
Yeah.
1-0 Vikings. Games. Well, 176 games to Troy Polamalu's 158. More games for Harrison Smith. Interceptions. Troy Polamalu has 32 in his career. And Harrison Smith has 34.
Ooh, obviously more games, but doesn't
Ooh, obviously,
matter.
totally. Hey, listen, and those accumulated yards off those returns, 498 to 398 for Harrison Smith.
Ooh, 100,
Up
100 extra yards?
100 extra yards off those two more interceptions.
That's crazy.
Uh, pick sixes, 4-3 for Harrison Smith.
Boom.
Sacks, 12 for Troy Polamalu, and 19.5 for Harrison Smith.
So I'm
Solo
talking
tackles, 766 to 583 for Harrison Smith. Forced fumbles, well, here we go. 14 for Polamalu and 12 for Harrison Smith.
It's close.
And then fumble recoveries, 8 for Harrison Smith and 7 for Polamalu. Then you get down to the championships and, Pro Bowls, All Pros, Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah,
Those matter.
those do matter.
Those
And
matter.
absolutely. So, okay, going through them, Hall of Fame, Polamalu's in.
Nah,
You
he's
can't
not
really
yet.
judge fairly. Can't judge
Yeah.
fairly. Championships, 2 for Polamalu,
Yeah.
0. Pro Bowls, 8-6 for Polamalu. All Pros, 6-2. And then the Defensive Player of the Year,
Whoa, he's
1.
a 6-time All-Pro?
6-time All Pro. So that's where I think the huge Polamalu arguments really come in. But the overall stats heavily favor Harrison Smith, which is
Well,
pretty crazy.
But that's what I'm saying is that like Palomalu got a lot of recognition through the media. The Steelers are a big team, you
Yep.
know, a much bigger market than the Vikings would be, and so he gets a lot more national media attention and recognition, which helps with, all pros a little bit or Pro Bowls especially,
Right.
and so he gets a lot more recognition because if you look at Harrison Smith's stats, if they're better or on par, why has he not been, in the conversation for defensive player of the year? You know what I mean? Or to get more all pros, the stuff like that, right? Like if the stats are there, obviously, like I said, there's more than just stats, but statistics are how we measure these guys, right? So if they're that similar, then obviously the championships is a different category, but the personal accolades should be similar too, right? Or
well, I guess it depends on the competition that year, right?
It definitely does. It definitely does. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of factors, but I hope he gets in the Hall of Fame. Harrison Smith's awesome, and most Viking fans would try to argue that he belongs there. And I know, and I've seen this as a specific argument as to why he belongs there.
I think there are many arguments that I'm looking at on the screen that say Harrison Smith is Hall of Fame bound, whether it's first ballot or not. Right. Down the line, especially safety is a tough position, or maybe not as tough of a position, to get in there. Yeah. The running backs of the defense, as they say. But if you're with us, thank you so much for stopping by. We do appreciate it. If you like what you're listening to, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and the notification bell. Lets us know you enjoy talking football each and every day, each and every week, just like we do. And Brandon, why don't you send us off?
Skol Bolts!
Skol Bolts!
And peace.